Hi, I'm Dr. Dawn Huebner. I'm a psychologist in the United States and the author of a number of books for children. Most of my books are about anxiety. They're about helping kids who tend to worry too much, where the worries are really out of proportion to actual dangers that children are facing. So things like being worried about bees, being so worried about them that you are afraid to go outside to play, or being worried about scary characters or bad guys, so much so that it affects your ability to sleep alone. Some kids struggle with those kinds of worries, and I've written some books to help with that sort of thing. But I realize that there's another kind of worry that many of us are feeling right now, and that's the worry about bad things happening in the world. So children sometimes hear about these bad things. They either listen to the news or read about them online or overhear their parents talking about bad things. And that's scary, understandably. Many of us are feeling worried right now about bad things happening in the world. There's the pandemic, of course. Many of us feel worried when we hear about COVID-19. We worry about getting sick or having someone that we love get sick. And there are other kinds of bad things happening too. There are things happening in politics. There are things that have to do with the environment, like global warming or environmental catastrophes, floods, fires. There are lots of difficult things happening in the world. So I decided to write a book for children who worry about that sort of thing, about big bad things happening in the world. And the book is called Something Bad Happened. In a moment, you're going to hear two sections from that book. One is from a chapter called Brains in High Alert, and it explains why it is that when we hear about a bad thing happening in the world, even if it's not right near us, or even if the bad thing hasn't touched our lives directly, we still feel scared about that thing. And the next chapter is called Calming Your Brain, and that teaches a very specific technique to help you feel better inside, to help you calm down when you find yourself feeling frightened by something you've heard about in the news. The rest of the book goes on to talk about dealing with difficult feelings like confusion or sadness when you hear about bad things happening in the world. And there's a section about how to assess whether or not you're safe, how to know if you're safe. There's a section about finding helpers, and finally the book ends with talking about positive things you can do, both to help yourself feel better and to help be part of the solution to the problems in our world.